right, welcome to another episode of Real Estate vs. Technology. I'm your host, Norman Kinsey. We have our co-host, Mr. Dan Gandy. Welcome, Dan, to the show.
Hey, everybody.
Awesome. And today we have a very special guest. He goes by the Superhero Realtor. His name is Daniel. Daniel, welcome to Real Estate vs. Technology.
What's up, guys? How are you?
Doing great.
Amazing, man. Doing amazing. Getting ready.
Awesome.
A couple days away from the holidays?
Yeah. 2 days. Christmas Eve is tomorrow. Ready for hanging out with the fam. It slows down a little bit in real estate because, lenders aren't trying to answer the phones and no attorneys are working. So it's nice. It's like the one time a year where everybody just knows it's okay to slow down a little bit. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. Amen. Just had some family come in last night. So I'm ready to it's going to take off sometime tomorrow and the next day. So it's going to be great. But getting into the show cadence, it's all about you, your business, and technology you're using so we can give back to our viewers so they can apply things to their business. So we want to go ahead and deep dive into that. So first off, tell us a little bit about what got you in the business and how long you've been in the business.
Sure. Yeah. To make it a short story, I'm sure it's longer for most people. I was actually a DJ prior to this.
Okay.
I was a DJ for 10 years. And the reason why I wanted to transition was because I had a little girl. I have a 5-year-old daughter. Her name is Maya. And at the time when she was born, I was still DJing, 3-4 nights a week. And it's really tough to get home at 4 o'clock in the morning when your newborn wakes up at 4:30, 5 a.m. or something like that. So it's like when you normally would go home and sleep till 11, you got this little baby to take care of. And so it took a toll on me very fast. And I realized that wasn't something I wanted to do for the long term anymore. I also didn't want to be, and this is no disrespect to anyone, but I didn't want to be a 40, 50-year-old DJ in that lifestyle for that long. So, it was something where I knew I wanted to transition to something that was a bit more fulfilling and that I could do for a longer period of time. And I could also go to bed at 10 o'clock at night instead of get to the party at 10 o'clock at night. So that's why I did it. I have been in the game for, actually this month is my start of the 5th year, which here, and where are you guys? You guys in Canada?
All over the place. I'm in Arizona, outside of Scottsdale. He's in Oregon.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in Portland.
Why did I think Canada? I have no idea why I thought this was Canada, but it's awesome. So there's a stat for the country. Actually, it's only 11% of all real estate agents make it to year 5. So I was excited to get to year 5 because that means at least I'm doing something right. But yeah, this is the start for me, and I say that I have the experience of someone who's been in it 20 years because we sell a lot of houses. But it's been great to get here for sure.
Wow, that's awesome, man. I actually did parties and promotions I was first doing security, so I was the one, checking for you at the door. And then after that, I got into parties and promotion and was in that industry for about 4 years. So I definitely know where you're coming from. And my daughter is actually 2 years old. So
yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you know the life. It's very much it's just very different, and it's hard to trust people in that lifestyle, and it just was taking a toll on me mentally, and so I'm excited to be in a new business that's going very well.
I love it. So where we're at. Where are you located?
So I'm in Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina, which North Carolina is one of every time Forbes puts out some best places to live, best places, whatever. This area is always on that list. So it's it's very much a booming market. It's a seller's market right now over here. And so it's been going up like this since I started. Because 5 years ago, it was 2015 or whatever. And I mean, house prices are 6 to 10% a year going up. So, I mean, it's just been going crazy. So I started at a good time, but I'm also realistic that it's not always going to be like this. So my team and I, we stay ready and prepared to, in case things shift a little bit.
I love that. So speaking of the team and your brokerage, we have the team behind me. and do a lot of transactions. So last 12 months, buy side, sell side, how many sides has your team done last 12 months?
So I have the total amount. We just kind of went over this. And it's a bit more because we're still in the year, but at least this year, so 2020, we're going to do about probably 120 as a combined, and that's just us. We just added 2 new members, but they just kind of are getting started. So that's with the 4 of us. The core 4 who have been here since the beginning, we did about 120, which is actually, it's a 60%. So as sales numbers, we did a 60% increase from last year. And last year was our first year together. So we're very excited for next year, because if we can continue the growth, we might be able to help 200 families next year do things, which would be awesome.
Wow. And taking control of your schedule, having time for your family, for your daughter.
Absolutely.
Man.
Yep.
Blessings all around, man. Good for you. So give us some context in regards to your team. Are you guys heavily focused on buy side, sell side, 50-50?
Yeah. So we will obviously work with anyone who has a need. But my team itself is a bit younger. I'm 34. Some of us are just in our kind of mid 30s. And then we even have some 20s in our age group. So we work with a lot of buyers, a lot of first timers, but then we also, and it's great because most first timers are in their house for 3 to 5 years or so. Yep. So now it's like my first client ever, I'm selling her house next month. And it's just so I do believe we're kind of going to be in that transition where we're maybe 80% buyers, 20% sellers, and we're slowly going to shift to maybe 50-50 or a bit more of the norm. But for now, we work with a lot of first timers, and it's great because we help people every day that they're the first person to buy a house in their entire family. This is the knowledge it's knowledge you don't learn in college is one of my phrases. Yeah. So we're able to help people do things that they ultimately would never know how to do because it's just not taught. So we're really, really excited for this wave that we're able to catch of people who are kind of our peers who are at that stage in life where they're getting married, they're having kids, they're buying houses, and we're the ones they want to work with. It's the average age of an agent is nice and high, 60s and stuff, probably around here, 50s, and it's lower. It used to be higher. Yep. So it's slowly going down. But and again, those agents are amazing. Their experience is you can't compete with it. But for buyers my age, they want to work with someone who's like me and like us. So it's been great to have that wave that I know that we're going to be with them, their first, second, third, fourth, final, and so we're really excited to be able to help people for the rest of their lives.
Wow, that's awesome. So the next question would be, how do you differentiate yourself from other agents? And it sounds like that kind of plays into that, but is there anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, so as far as differentiating ourselves from agents, we just try to, how do I put this? So when it comes to social media and stuff, right? Most agents, most firms right now, that's like the big, sorry, I have some notifications I need to turn off here. But that's like the big class that everybody wants to take, the social media class and the how to grow Instagram, how to get clients. I was one of the ones on Facebook where you needed a .edu to join Facebook. I was on, I lived, we lived on Facebook. And we were born through it. I was on Instagram, before it was the cool thing to do. I had a Twitter in 2009. I've lived through all of this stuff. So it's not us trying to figure it out because we are it. So we just do what we know how to do and what we're, kind of innately good at as far as with social media. And that's what we primarily work on. I would say 95% of all of our business comes from social media, which is a blessing because when I first got started, the ways we were told to get business weren't necessarily ways that we wanted to. Like, if that was how you're successful, I don't really want to do this. Like door knocking and sending out mailers and cold calling and stuff. And I'm not knocking it at all because people make a killing doing these types of things, but it wasn't necessarily what I wanted to do every day to be successful. So I was like, well, let me see what I want to do. And if I can do that and be successful, it's like the ultimate, let's just do that. So, making fun videos and being out there in front of people, on social media, and just putting myself out there in every way is kind of what we like to do.
Wow. I love that. I'm starting to hear, I think, Dan, as we're, you're the co-host and the host here, we're starting to hear it more, the commonality of like, yeah, door knocking, sending out mailers is great, but we're hearing social, we're hearing that people are doing videos a lot more, and it sounds like the more of the norm of what is going on.
It's the next wave. It's the next wave because we're seeing an age demographic shift. Like our parents are on Facebook now more actively, and we're being able to connect with the right people. And Instagram still skews younger, but I think there's a time and place for door knocking and phone calls and prospecting and building a farm. But man, if you can jump on Instagram and send out a few DMs or voice messages or shoot some links, like your acquisition cost for a lead is like 1/100th of a mailer. So
yeah, and it's time. It's just we don't pay for anything right now. We don't even pay for content creation because we do it all ourselves. We invest in camera equipment and tripods, and we get the newest cell phone because that's sometimes the best tool you can buy. But so yeah, again, I know agents who kill it in farming and cold calling and things like that, but that's just not how we do it. And I think that we also are doing what's the future, and we just want to be the best at it and keep growing and be open to change at the same time, because there are agents who aren't, and they're like, look, I'm not doing this new thing. I'm just going to keep doing what I've been doing for 20 years, and that's perfectly fine. But we're going to be open to whatever the next thing is, and we're always going to keep our eyes open for it.
I love that. That's awesome. I have one more question before we get into the lightning round with Dan. And then he's going to go over more of the specifics as far as technology that you're using in your business. Last for me, it's kind of like, it doesn't really apply to you, I feel like, because it's like, well, is technology disrupting your business at all? Which it sounds like you're just kind of rolling and adapting through the change of technology, because you are the change, like you just said. I mean, you were there for Twitter and Facebook and now Instagram. So, I mean, would you say anything's really disrupting? I mean, your business.
I say we're the disruptors would be my answer to that question.
I like that.
Nothing is disrupting us. We're disrupting what other people think was right, or whatever. So, and we always are going to be at the top of whatever the disruption is. That's always going to be our goal, and we take pride in that. It's fun for us. So, that's the answer to that question.
Man, I love that. So I'm going to go ahead and change our camera angle here, give it to Dan. Dan's going to go ahead and do the lightning round, and it's all about technology you're using in your business. So go ahead, Dan, take it away.
Yeah, man. We're excited to always ask these questions because it varies all across the country and
I'm sure.
Team size and agent. Everyone has kind of like their tech stack and what works for them. So we just wanted to dig into that and see if we can provide value to other agents on things to check out. So
sure.
In your current business, what is your number one lead source currently? And I think you told us. Is it
social media? Yeah, social media, and more specifically Instagram. My whole team is very, very much focused on it, and that leads into everything else. Because if you post on Instagram, it also goes on Facebook and stuff too. But I have a lender who's my go-to lender, and he asks every one of my clients, "Hey, how'd you hear about Daniel?" And he's shocked that every single one of them says, yeah, I follow him on Instagram. Everyone. And that's the only, he works with hundreds of agents, and I'm the only one who every client has that answer. Wow. So, yeah.
That's great. No, it's totally good. And then in terms of, you're not cold calling. Are you cold calling still and doing any prospecting?
No. I have this philosophy. And again, it's a rare way of thinking, but I prefer it like this. So if you think of some of the biggest brands out there, like an Apple or something, I know everyone always probably uses Apple for that, but Apple they don't like beg anyone for business. You barely even see an advertisement that's like a magazine or a newsletter or anything like that. It's just, they just put out something that they know everybody's going to want. And then everybody just flocks to it. And that's how I want my business to be ran. Like Lamborghini. Have you ever seen an ad for a Lamborghini?
Nope.
Right? Never. But who wants one? Everybody. You know, that's always like that dream thing that they always want. So that's the way we try to run our business, where it's just we put out something, a product, if you will, or a service, or this notion that you can be with, you can just have this experience. And then people come to us. I mean, my messages daily are, hey, I really want to work with you guys. How do we do it? You know, I really want you to sell my house. How do we do it? Instead of, hey, I saw you on, you showed up on my Zillow as a preferred agent. You know, will you do it for this percentage? I talked to someone else and they'll do it for this. And like, they just want this discount because, you know, they're just competing each other. We don't discount. We're full service brokers. You know, I don't know what the rates are out there, but we do the full rate, and people know what they're getting when it comes to us. And those are the leads I want. The people who already know me a little bit, and I don't have to prove myself because I do it every day, you know, in the way I run my business.
I think agents really need to understand that what you just said is you create demand generation.
Yep.
People are demanding to work with you versus you going out and trying to convince people to work with you. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a big pivotal point of creating great marketing, having good branding, being able to connect with an audience and build that tribe of people around you that are your raving fans. So that's killer.
Yes.
CRM, like what do you once you get a lead and they come into the ecosystem of Daniel, how do you manage?
So I'll be honest, we could do better. I know there are people that we could learn from about this, and I'll have to watch some of your other podcasts because I know we were learning. We use something called Pipe Drive, which I don't know if you. Yeah. So that's awesome. So the number one reason why we use Pipe Drive is because they had a really good mobile app, and because it's very customizable to whatever you want it for. So we use Pipe Drive for like if we get, you know, like cold leads, warm leads, hot leads, that type of thing. And then all the way into the transaction itself, the due diligence period, the inspection stuff. You can customize your fields of sorts and follow a transaction all the way along. It's great for me as a team leader because at any point I can jump on and see what folks are working on, you know, where we're at sales goal wise, things like that. So we use Pipe Drive. My company has some other stuff, but we don't really, I don't think we really use it much. We like Pipe Drive. It has a mobile app and you can do it on the go. You know, any CRM you use, if you don't put the data in, it's not doing anything for you. So the day one comes out that's just like knows what we need and sucks up the data and automatically puts it in, we'll switch to that. But for now, you know, we go with one that seems to be working for us for the time. It's not very expensive. I think it's $15 a person. So it's doing its job.
Nice.
Good. I think you hit the nail on the head. Like,
that's cool. You guys use it. I've never met anyone else that uses it too.
Yeah, we've switched around. We've had, you know, on the technology side, we're dealing with, you know, prospecting a lot of agents and dealing with current clients, and we've kind of built buckets. Like, here's our current clients, past clients, website clients, full program clients. Yeah. But the cool thing about Pipe Drive is it's one of the few companies where you can, you know, this is not a hate on any of the real estate specific CRMs, but Pipe Drive is one of the few that does multi-industry. And if you have something that you're like, hey, can you fix this? Or could you adapt our CRM to do this specific task? Like nearly 9 times out of 10, they're going to reach back out and be like, we can do that. Yeah. Let our back end developers figure this out for you. And that flexibility is huge.
That's why we liked it as well.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jesse, my teammate Jesse, if he's watching, because he's the one who found it and picked it and trained it. He trained everybody on it. So
totally,
that was all Jesse right there.
I love that.
And then, you know, a couple other questions real quick is you've done some vlogging in the past. You know, you want to build out the YouTube presence. When you get a great video or it has great engagement, are you turning around and then promoting it, boosting it, blasting it out with paid promotion behind it?
Rarely. Sometimes I will just to do it. I've never, ever done a boost and gotten someone that says, hey, I saw your boost, or I'm reaching out to you because of this ad that I saw, you know, that I wouldn't normally have seen. Everything else, I just try to make it organically boostable, like, you know, where it's just gets all the likes and it has the right hashtags and the right title and the right cover page for YouTube, and it's just engaging enough where people are going to see it naturally. If you understand how social media works and the different sites, you know, it's something that you can adapt to. Like, I wouldn't make a video that I wouldn't think everyone wouldn't want to watch or wouldn't want to share. And I might put things in the video that make it shareable. Now, I've definitely done, I think better than a boost is like a giveaway of sorts. So I did this one. So I had a condo community where I was selling 4 condos at the exact same time, which isn't too easy to market all of that at once. So instead of putting out just 4 videos, hoping everyone just watch, like once you see one and they were similar and everything like that. So I did an intro to all of them. I said, here's the beginning of this, guys. I've got 4 listings. I'm going to make 4 videos. And at the end of the 4, I'm going to give away $400. And that everyone went crazy. So from that first video, everyone was waiting for the second. And what I did was in each of the 4, I put in a hidden word. And at the end of the 4, you would know what the phrase was. So you'll follow. And I could have picked a better phrase because it was pretty easy to guess, but it was don't worry, be happy. So by the 4th video, everyone was like, don't worry, be happy. I was like, you haven't seen the video yet. You don't know what the last word is. But, and then at the end of each one, everyone was just, you know, commenting and sending me messages. And what they had to do was they had to comment under each video, tell me what the word was, like the post, and share it. And those videos just went through the roof, all of them, you know. And I could have boosted $100 a video randomly, because you can't really target when you're doing real estate sales. It's just like whatever Facebook wants to show people. I could have did $400 worth of that, and who knows, someone in, you know, Ecuador would have been watching it, and they're not buying it. You know, they're probably not interested in that condo. And another reason too, I get a lot of things boosted to me that have nothing to do with me. You know, they're real estate agents selling their service. Like, let me be your realtor in Toronto or something. And it's like, I'm already a realtor. I don't need your service. So why is it effective that I'm watching this? You know, that was a wasted click in a sense. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Cool. Nice. No, totally. I think that's all from my end. I mean, the number one thing that you have a unique marketing strategy that isn't rocket science, but it is what hardly any agents are doing. And I think that's what makes it so effective, is that you've mastered the social media lead gen and be able to connect and create the audience and get the lead gen where, like, to be honest, man, we talked to thousands of agents at this time. And part of our business model has been able to just set up and get them onto social media. That was the first biggest hurdle, is like getting them a Facebook business page or an Instagram page. And then the second hurdle is getting them to just be comfortable in being in front of that. And I think you've created a testament to all of it, that if you go out, you shoot, you relate with people, you put yourself out there, you really have nothing to lose. It's everything to gain. Nothing to lose.
Yeah. And I give that advice. A lot of people might get discouraged, especially if they go back and look at like maybe one of my newer videos that's like looks really great and has good editing and words all over here. They'll be like, I can't do that. But if you go back and look at one of my first videos, it was shot on my iPhone, you know, at night. Colors weren't that good. I did it on iMovie, which is free, by the way. You know, my first good number of videos were just on my camera, on my smartphone, on iMovie, which is free. And, you know, they were of my kids, or it was of me just doing something. So like I didn't start here. You know, I started down here and I learned, I watched YouTube videos. I went to YouTube University for video editing. You know, all that stuff is ready to go if you just have the motivation to go and learn it, you know? So I would say to anyone, don't be discouraged And don't think just because you saw something that's incredible, you know, and you might not be able to make that, then you should still start where you fit in, you know, and go from there, because you'll get better every time.
Yeah.
It's either you're going to put the sweat equity into it or you're going to put the money into it. And I think when you're first getting started with video and social, you got to put the sweat equity into it to understand when it's time to put the money into it.
Yeah, because most videographers charge what, $300-500 for something, you know, somewhat small. How many times can you really do that in the given course of a month? Like, you're going to pay someone 4 videos, you know, $2,000 a month. Like, how long will that last for you? But it's $1,200, but buy a good phone with a good camera and make 100 videos, you know, and you'll get your money's worth. I guarantee it.
I love that. I love that. Well, thanks so much, Dan, for spearheading the lightning rounds. And I just want to add to a really good book for our viewers and listeners that actually will segue into last couple of questions, and exactly what Daniel just said is the compound effect. So if you put emphasis on having those 3 listings, like he said, you start with 1, you build the momentum. By the time you get to the 3rd, if the catchphrase wasn't as easy, they would watch the whole video and no, I'm joking. Then you'll be able to build up that momentum. So it's a compound effect, which makes a lot of sense. And I also love the fact that I just have to point out that exactly what Daniel said, it's like, do something to show that you're an expert, which is nothing more than being an authority, leading by example and letting them come to you instead of you going to them. That's when you know you're doing something right. So dude, Daniel, good job. Kudos to you. Last couple of questions, of course, that I have for you. So do you consider yourself an expert in the area? So have you deep dive into your specific area in North Carolina, or have you deep dive into any content for buyer specific, seller specific content that maybe attracted some business to you, or are you just kind of keeping it more of like a personal flow and just highlighting listings and client maybe testimonials? How are you approaching that?
As far as like what's on my what my content is about?
Yeah.
So another thing to write down if you're taking notes is to don't just be narrow-minded when it comes to your content, because you can get on Instagram and you can post your listings all week, all day, every day. Mm-hmm. But on average, 99% of your people probably aren't even in the market right now. And they're probably not looking for that particular house. So you can't just flood them with the houses you got under contract and the houses you've listed. You got to show them everything. You got to show them maybe some great restaurants you know of, or if you have kids, the best park around town. And then also, and this is a thing that a lot of agents deal with, is whether or not they have a private page for personal stuff or a public page, you know, public realtor page, private personal page. Me and everyone on my team, no private pages allowed, because I am Daniel Gluckin. I'm a real estate agent, yes, but I'm also a dad of 2 kids. I'm a husband to my wife. You know, I'm a local. I live here, and that's who I am. And that's why people want to work with me, is because they know everything about me. And yeah, there are things I choose not to share, I'm sure. You know, I'm not going to post a picture of me coming out of the shower or anything like that. There's personal stuff you keep to yourself. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with, if you're out at a great restaurant and, you know, it's you and your wife and you take a selfie, tag the restaurant and talk about your favorite appetizer. Like, that's something that, even if you're not in the market today, you're going to remember me for. And eventually when you are in the market, you want that guy. Yes. And so that's where I keep it. And I'll look at my feed daily or weekly and determine, all right, what have I posted a lot of lately? What can I do more of to kind of make sure it's not all of the same thing? So, you know, if I have a new listing, I'll wait to post it. I won't just go listing. I'll go a listing and then find something real quick to fit in, and then the next listing, just to kind of keep a good flow. Yeah. You got to curate it. You know, any type of curation, I don't know, but you got to have a good flow for all that stuff, and you got to keep it on a broad spectrum, because that's the most interesting, for sure, in my opinion, at least.
I love that. There's that saying, they say, people forget what you did, but they'll never forget the way that you made them feel. So being authentic, putting out videos, building a know, like, and trust factor, people buy from people they know, like, and trust. And to be honest with you, some agents out there might want to do a post of them out of the shower, right? That was a great shower. And then steam coming out. I don't know.
No, I've posted pictures of me in the shower, but it was
Okay.
it was a 12-foot shower in new construction, stuff like that.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, that's a real good point for sure.
Got to be creative with it, right? So, so last couple questions. I'm probably going to skip the seller-specific farm, buyer-specific farm for geographical, because you don't really do the farming side of things. But like, as far as your business, like, is there something, and I think we already know the answer to this, but we'll go ahead and hear it one more time. What's your secret weapon when it comes to marketing your real estate business?
So I'll do this. I'll skip to listings, marketing and actual listing, because I do think we have somewhat of a secret sauce. So I myself, and whether it's just I don't like paying people or I don't like waiting on someone, I learned how to do anything I need to do for a listing. So I have high quality equipment to shoot a video tour. I'm actually a licensed drone operator, which is not easy to get. But I was like, look, if I'm going to take drone pics, I want to do it right. I have a licensed and insured full drone operation, so I can do my own drone stuff. I have friends who are stagers. I have my wife is actually a professional real estate photographer. She does all of our stuff and other people's. So imagine going in, and I help other agents with it. Imagine going into a listing appointment, and the client is like, the seller's like, what do you do, and things like that. And then they say, well, we're also talking to a bunch of other agents. I say, okay, perfectly fine. Meet other people, ask around, try to find out who's the best. But just know, I help so many more agents. Whoever you hire is probably going to end up hiring me anyway to do their marketing materials, and they're probably going to hire my wife to do the pictures. So you're better off just go ahead and going directly through me, and then you might not have to pay for that stuff because it's all included. So and I've gotten listings like that because the competition. Oh, Sally, yeah, Sally uses me for all her stuff. So why not go directly through the guy who's going to end up doing it? So I tried to make myself a one-stop shop, and I learned that from when I was a DJ. When I was a DJ, I had all the equipment I needed to throw a party. I had my speakers, I had my lights, I could throw a party in the middle of a field if I wanted to with just everything that I owned. And I kind of kept to that thing. So yeah, I try to, with listings, trying to be the one-stop shop, and kind of have everything that a seller could ever want, just sitting there in the living room with them.
I love that.
It's nice. Yeah.
Definitely building that confidence to have someone feel like, all right, this is a no-brainer. Let's just get this done. That's awesome, man. Well, we're at the part of the show now. We're pretty much at the end. So we always like at this part to just have the floor be open. So whether it's maybe the real estate side, I know that you have a couple other things that you're doing as well. If you want to elaborate on anything, how do they connect with you? Floor is yours. What do you want the listeners and viewers to hear from you?
Yeah, I don't know. I would love to connect with everybody on social media. They could follow me on my Instagram. I don't know if you guys will put it in show notes or something, but it's linked below, all the info. And yeah, I've recently gotten into investing and purchasing my own investment properties, which has been something that I've been excited about for my family. Our goal is to buy one investment property a year, at least one for 10 years, and hopefully pay all those off in 10 to 20. And then as far as the retirement goes, have some really good rental properties for the long term for the family. So that's something I've been excited about. I would definitely encourage agents to think like that, because we have every advantage to find the right houses, to get, to use our commission towards closing costs. And we know all the lenders, we know all the attorneys, so use it since we're in the world, and not just like get your commission and then like spend it and wait for the next check. And, we got to think long term, because we really can't retire unless you own a firm, or you run a team, or you have investments. That's why agents are a bit older, because, if they're not working, what are they going to do? And I would want to retire one day. So that's advice that I would give, because that's something I've been recently trying to really hold on to.
Wow. You're the first person out of, I think, 60 episodes to actually say that, because I have to just rewind here. like you said, DJ business, you want to have some sleep, your sanity, be there for your family.
Yeah.
Now you're a real estate professional making money, and it's good money, but you're already thinking ahead about retirement because you're always on to the next deal. And that's why you see a lot of agents, like you said earlier in the show, marketing to you, to their course or this or that or whatever they're trying to do, because these agents now are trying to diversify their portfolios because they don't want to have to be subject to the next deal. So for our viewers and listeners out there, dude, take note on that.
And just real quick, like you hit the nail on that. When we have this isn't a plug for us, but when a new client comes in, our strategy questionnaire is like part of positioning an agent and figuring out what their strategy is on the long term. The last question we added this last year is, when are you going to retire from real estate?
Mm-hmm.
And you should hear the answers that we get.
What are the answers? I'm curious.
Oh, never? Dude, like never is like, I don't know, never. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, like next year, and then the person's like 20, and you're like, and you hit the nail on the head. As a realtor myself and as an investor with properties, I always look at like it's got to be a full circle approach. You can't just like sell real estate until you're 90. I mean, you can, but
do you want to?
No,
exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Wow. That's awesome. Well, Daniel, thank you so much for being on the show today. I really feel that our viewers and listeners would be able to take things from what you said today and apply to their business. So thank you so much. Appreciate you being on.
Yeah,
absolutely. My pleasure. I appreciate you guys reaching out to me to be on it.
Hey, on Instagram.
Dan. Yeah, exactly.
Dan, thanks for co-hosting today's episode. We really appreciate it. And thanks to all our viewers and listeners. It's our intention for you to take some from our episodes you can apply to your business to have more massive success. And we will see you on the next one.
You made it to the end. Well, thank you so much for watching Real Estate vs. Technology. We hope you found value, especially something you can apply to your real estate business. If you could do us a favor, we would appreciate it. A thumbs up. If you subscribe, hit the notification bell, you'll be notified for new episodes coming out, and comment below. What the heck did you learn? If you want to join our Facebook group page, there's a link right here. And if you want to be featured on Real Estate vs. Technology, send us a DM on our Instagram page. We'll see if we get you on the show. So, take care, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.